Okay, long time. So I have a Samsung S23 Ultra, yeah, with a black screen or no display. So before removing the back cover, I have to heat that glue first. So I had to put it on a separator to heat it first. So another step is to open. So there are various tricks how you can open that back glass. Some use benzene to put a few droplets around the edge of the glass, but for me I prefer heating the glass. So that method of heating works for me best. So I'm handling the phone with that piece of cloth because the chassis is very hot. Okay, so we have to open the phone to disassemble it. So I'm not going to skip any step. Okay, I'm showing exactly what I do in real time. So the video is going to be very long. It will be about 30 minutes. If you are interested, you can watch. If you are not interested, you can go to the next video. So after removing the back glass, we have to remove the screw, Phillips screws first. You have to get access to the main board. Okay. I think let me open this too. So this is a electronic screw driver. Yeah, that's what I use to open. So I don't want to waste a lot of time with these manual torque drivers. They are called manual torque screwdrivers. So this is electric one. So the next step is to remove all screws. While I'm opening the phone, I just want to talk about a few things. So this is a Samsung S23 Ultra. So such phones, we consider them like a camera phone. So whatever thing that you do, you should never touch the camera lenses, the optics. You should never touch them, cause the phone will lose its value. So mostly this phone, they sell the camera system or the functionality, the zoom, the picture quality. So if you don't take care or be conscious about the cameras and you end up touching them, so the camera picture will lose quality. So that is very, very important. Okay. Okay, let me first remove all the screws. I don't want to skip anything. Okay, so for the videos that I want to make nowadays, I want to make educative videos. I don't want to skip any step. Okay, so this phone, it was done in real time. The video it is left to be in real time. Okay, So as I told you, the first thing you should be cautious about, they are the cameras. You should handle the cameras with care. Okay. Another thing, don't remove the fibers with a metallic tool like tweezers, any other metallic component. So if you have your fingernails, you can use the fingernails. If you don't have them, you can use other clipping tools to remove, but don't use metallic objects or sharp objects. You may end up damaging the FPC connector. So we don't want to run into other issues. So after removing the screws, so I had to make sure that it was not about the cables. The cables were not loose, something like that. So that's why I removed them and I replugged them back. So I wanted to make sure it was not a cable issue. Okay. So I had to put it in charger to confirm that maybe it is not power issue, to see whether the computer can detect the phone, things like that. So those are the basic procedures that you can do to diagnose such issues. So I had to put it on a computer to confirm, can a computer really detect the phone? Is the phone on? Because someone may say that it has a black screen when the problem is not with the motherboard is not even switching on. So I had to confirm with the computer repair assistant or something like that, and I found out that the phone was detected by the computer, and right now it is on. Okay, the phone is on. So the computer detects the phone in MTP mode. It means the phone is already on and working. So now we go deep to see the condition of the FPC connector. Okay, so the thing I'm doing right now, it is called track tracing. Okay, track tracing. Already I talked about that thing in the previous videos. Track tracing, you open your schematics. Okay, you get your digital meter, you measure point by point. The values that you get should be approximately closer or equivalent to the values you get from the schematics. So this is the basic part of finding the faults. Okay, so if you find any component or point that is not measuring, it is giving you values that way high or low or no value at all, it means that line is fault. Okay, it means that line is fault. So that's what I do. It is called track tracing. You start tracing to know. Okay, making references with the schematics. As you can see in the background on the computer, I have opened the bitmaps to see the values that I'm getting. Are they the values that are supposed to be actually there? Because the values in the schematics are extracted from well-known motherboards. So all motherboards should be measuring approximately close. So upon measuring, I found out that there were various lines. There were 4 lines which were not actually giving me anything. Yet on the bitmap there was some values equivalent to 0.50 millivolts. So on the FPC connector I was getting 0 or open line. I was getting open line. So I had to continue to do jumping. Or this is a dual stacked motherboard. S23 Ultra has a dual stacked motherboard. So I don't have the preheater adapter that can separate the boards. But upon that, I found out that the lines were not actually coming from inner components or components beneath the boards, in between the boards inside. So the lines that were an open line, they were coming from the top of the from the top of the board to the downer part. So I found out that there is a resistor. Okay, there is a resistor that was actually not giving me any value. So how did I know that? I know that with the schematics reference. So it will be difficult for you to diagnose such issues without bitmap or schematics. Okay, so that resistor, it was supposed to be with 0.5 ohms, okay, which is close to 0 ohm. You can just make a jumper there if you don't want to disturb yourself, but you can put a resistor if you want. So in order not to make matters worse and exaggerating faults and going into other issues like damaging the FPC connector, so I had just to make a jumper. Okay, I had to make a jumper to connect those 2 points. So that was the first fault, the easiest one. So as you can see, we are going to continue to see how I diagnose the phone. So let me first make a jumper and you see. So I have to remove the dictometer now. It is no longer in use. I have to put it aside. It's time to put a jumper. Put a jumper. Today I don't want to rush. I want everything to be in real time. Such that you can learn. I posted a video about Samsung black screens. Some people, they just replace the screen and sometimes the phone fails again to work. Okay, and the phone fails again to work. So if you replace the screen, the phone still gives you black screen. This is the method that you have to follow. And another issue about it is it's also common among Samsungs that someone may be using a phone and unexpectedly the phone blacks out. Okay, you may be using it, you put it in a pocket, removing it after a few minutes, it blacks out. So you can hear the notifications in the background. When someone calls, you can get the notification, the ringtone, but nothing comes up until you open the phone and you unplug the battery and then you plug it again. Okay, so those are some of the examples that you have a loose connection among the phone motherboard concerning display. So don't forget to ask the phone history from the customer. You ask when he brings a phone and tells you that it has blacked out a screen, you ask about the previous history. When did it start? How often does it occur? Does it occur when or after heavy use? So when the phone is heavily used, it heats up. So that constant heating and cooling causes pads to lose. So I had to make a jumper. as you can see, I had to make a jumper from the down board to the upper board, so where the connection or the lines was loose, was really not connecting as expected, as you can see. So after that, I had to test and see again, okay, to see whether the phone has worked or not. So as you can see in the background, I'm trying to test the screen to see whether it can really power up. It is an easy but a complicated process. You have to be patient. Being a professional microsolider or technician, you have to be calm and patient. So after powering on the phone, I noticed that it showed me a weird greenish screen. Okay, greenish screen. So I knew that I was on the right track. As you can see, it's a greenish screen. So I knew that not only these pins that I have really jumped, but I knew there were other lines concerning the display that we are faking. Okay, that we are faking. Maybe after plugging on the display connector or the fiber, they disconnect. When you remove it, they try to show you on the meter that they are actually connected. So I had to remeasure the points to know what exactly is that point that is faking. So I had to measure the points again. Okay, that way I wanted to confirm that everything is fine. Okay, so I had to repeat the whole process. So I had to skip that second process. I had to skip some steps because it really took me a lot of time to find the pin that was faking. Okay, so these procedures, they are similar on all phones. Okay, they are similar on all phones, not only Samsung, the Poco, the MI, the Redmi, the Huawei's, and very many other models. So keep following. In the coming video, I may show you how to determine whether there are points that are faking from the CPU. In that way, you will be able to tell whether the problem is with the CPU and when to rebuild it. So I had to add another line, okay, from the top board to the bottom side. So I had to show you where exactly those lines were going. So I found out there is another line that was faking. So after there, I had to make them pass through this shield and come up to the point where you want them to be. Okay, as you can see, that is the points. That's the lines were coming from that side to the other side. So doing that work, you have to be with a drilling bit, because I had to drill. I had to remove the capacitors and drill beneath them. Beneath them, the point was beneath the capacitors. So someone may ask, how did I know? Because I used schematics. Some people don't know the difference between schematics, bitmaps. Okay, the schematics and bitmaps They are kind of like the same, but they are in actual sense different. So schematics tell you where the line passes, okay, that when this connection comes here, it goes to this capacitor, resistor, so on, so on, so on forth. So I was able to tell that I can actually access those points beneath those two capacitors that I removed. So we are going ahead to test and see, okay, is the problem solved or not. So you should always use a UV glue to make sure that the wires are secured firmly along the board, okay. So now, after all that struggle, I had to recheck again and see whether the problem is fixed or not. I have worked on a lot of phones with such issues, iPhones and Samsung mostly. So very soon I'm going to be dropping a video showing how actually you can know that your phone CPU needs reballing. For example, the phones that fail to turn on, they have issues. Because a lot of people ask me that question: how do I know that the CPU requires reballing? How do I know that this chip requires reballing, so and so requires reballing? Okay, to know that, you should know various components on the board that you are working on. For example, you should know the sections. Which issue are you having? Is it a mouthpiece issue? So you should know where the audio codec is located. Is it a separate IC? Is it integrated in the power IC? Okay, is it integrated in the CPU? So to know when to reball the CPU, it depends on the problem of the phone, following the lines that are fault, okay, and using other gadgets like a DC power supply and digital meter to tell. So the screen was fixed, okay, it was fixed, it was working very well, okay. So that display was very fine. The problem was with the board, it had loose connection. So peace, we shall meet again in the next video.